Alright, looks like I'm gonna have to round up me some pots. I want to get these 3 planted. That'll give me one, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll give me 6 in the big pot. Them 2 right there, they don't look all that great, and I'm not going to fool with them. But you know, in a way, it's like you're sitting here and all these plants. It's kind of like you're the god. You decide who's going to make it and who's going to not. And sometimes some of them don't make it. You don't have nothing to do with it. But those 2 right there, they're just not looking at, and they're eat up with something. I don't know what it is. But I was going to cut way back on this stuff, but I just don't have. I decide to do it, and then I'll be out here working in them. And that one right up there, it's got some blooms on it. And if I'm not mistaken, that's got a little bloom on it, just a tiny little thing, and so is that. That one's got 2. So, some of them are going to make it. Okay. Oh, man. You know, I was sitting in there. There's so much stuff on the news about the British monarchy, you know. I just don't get it. I don't get it. And there was a piece in there about this. They're all trying to figure out, well, who bows to who and who curtsies and all that stuff. And what a crock. All that man did was to be born. He did nothing else. And they really don't have no power. They can't do stuff like the kings and queens did of yesteryear, you know. If you were like Henry VIII, I mean, he'd get pissed off at one of his wives about something, and he'd lop off her head at the drop of a hat. I don't know how many people he actually executed that way, or put in the Tower of London, or that one king, I can't remember. He wasn't a king actually. His nephews were heir to the throne, and they disappeared, and the uncle become king. So, you know, and they don't do anything. They're, what do you call it, they're just there. They're just taking money, getting more money and more money, from the taxpayers, and there's a lot of poor in England. Of course, there's a lot of poor here. But here, our president, we have a hand in electing him. He has to do something to earn that spot. But Charles, and you notice I'm not saying king, but Charles, he didn't have to do nothing to earn that spot. All he had to do was be born first, and then just act normal. And that kind of looked like, well, that's not his bike. Somebody just rode by on a bicycle. You know, Jaden's bicycle got stolen here about a month ago. But Charles, he's king, but he can't do squat. And if their government wanted to take him out, they could take him out. They could get rid of the monarchy. They could start spending all that money. Maybe I've just got a little mind. I don't know. I just don't see the point of it. And then that king or queen of Denmark or the Netherlands or whatever, you got them going on. And sooner or later, the people's going to get tired of it. And it may be in the makings now, because there's things going on with Harry, better known as Prince Harry. And I don't understand exactly what happened between Harry and the rest of the royal family, royal. Their blood ain't no different than my blood. But something going on there with Harry, and he's got this book or memoir that's coming out. He's already paid a $20 million advance. And I mean, look what Charles and Camilla did. They had an affair while he had an extramarital affair. So there's a lot of crap going on around that. And him and Charles at one point was trying to slander Diana. So, I don't know. I don't know all of what for. But I can tell you one thing. Their poop stinks just like the rest of ours poop. It stinks. Is there such thing as royal poop? Or when they urinate, is it royal pee? Oh, my God. Yep, who's going to curtsy to, or who's going to bow to? I bow to no man. I'll shake your hand, or I'll give you a hug. But as far as bowing, like you're holier than thou, no, sir. I'll bow to no man. Well, I take that back. There was this girl in high school. Man, I don't know if it was the hops or whatever, but I really liked that girl. And I kind of, at one time when I first met her, and I'd been wanting to meet her for a long time, and I finally got to meet her, and I held her hand, and I didn't bow, I just kind of bent forward and kissed her hand. she And she was smitten with that. She never did wind up liking me too much, but she sure was smitten when I kissed her hand. I thought I'd hit a home run when I did that. It didn't get me nowhere, but she was telling me how sweet I was. But I bowed to her. And I see Tracy out turning the things on her Halloween decorations. But yeah, I kissed that girl's hand. And what are you doing? Come on. Dadgone it. You're just my baby girl. See you on TV now. Who is that on that screen? Can you see you? Who is that? Woo-hoo. Who is that, baby? Huh? You my baby girl? She was snuggling up again last night. I'm going to try to get my daughter to give her a bath tonight. You're a sweetheart. Is today Friday? Yes, it is. I got to figure out how to do them shorts on YouTube. I think TubeBuddy's got something in on that. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to figure it out because I like to do little shorts about stuff. And they say they've gone beyond TikTok on the shorts, but I don't know how to do it. I guess you gotta have, it's through TubeBuddy somehow or another. I'm gonna try to find out. But anyway, I'm gonna try not to go on a rant about the monarchy. I want to call them malarkey. A bunch of malarkey. Oh, but you know, back in the Revolution, you know, when we was fighting the British and we spanked them good, and the Continental Congress and all that, they wanted to make George Washington king of the United States. And George, and I'm calling him George, I would, he didn't want no part of that. It was like, we've been there, we done that, we didn't like it. There's going to be a president elected by the people. Now, I don't know about how that went with George Washington. He was the first. But, you know, I've been to Mount Vernon a couple of times, George Washington's home. If I was a really wealthy person, I mean, like, I could donate, say I wanted to donate $2 or $3 million to the Mount Vernon Society, thing that takes care of that. I would. What are you doing? That's my baby boy. I would go to that group that handles that, and I would say, if y'all would let me spend one night in a bedroom in that house in Mount Vernon. In other words, spend a night sleeping there, I'd give them $2 or $3 million. And I'd also do it with Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's house. And there was somebody else's house that I wanted to do that in. I would like to do that in Elvis Presley's home I done forgot the name. What was the name of that? That's a senior moment. Elvis Presley's house. I would want to do that in some other notables. You know? And there's just certain people that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. I like Harry Truman, that took over the presidency when Roosevelt died. I like Roosevelt. I like Eisenhower. I like Nixon up to a point. He just screwed up, is what he did. There were several presidents. I like Abraham Lincoln to a point, but the South got screwed over, but it was for the greater good. I mean, we're fortunate that the South did have to give it up, because we wouldn't be the great country that we are right now if we weren't together. Back in them days, all the industries and stuff was in the north, and the farmers and stuff was in the south. What's the dog doing in the car? He's got my baby in the car. And the dog. It's kind of cool right now, but it's supposed to be up in the 80s tomorrow. So it's not as cold as it was yesterday and the day before. But I can imagine there's some places up north that's had some snow. So I see my elephant ears is starting to fall over and die. The cold, they can't take the cold too much, but they'll come back. They grow from the roots. But yeah, my place that the most favorite place I'd want to spend the night in would be Mount Vernon. I would love to do that, and I would love to just walk around. You know, walk up the steps that he walked up and duck my head where he had to duck his head because the ceiling was low going up them steps. I remember that. That would be tremendous to sleep in the room, not necessarily his bed. I don't know if his bed that he slept in there or if it's a reproduction or something. But just to sleep in the room that we know was his bedroom. Uh, and go to the necessary room, which is out there close to the garden. That's that thing you walk up step, go in, and it's a toilet. And when you poop, it all goes down below, and as it accumulates, the slaves would dig it up and put it in the garden and stuff. But just to, I'm already honored that I got to walk in some of the places that he walked, and to stand there and see his house that he looked at many times probably. And he didn't want to be king. What a terrific man that was. Now, every documentary I've seen about George Washington, there was a piece in there about him having either a wannabe, a want to having a relation with that woman. I forget her name. Was it Sally something? I think he may have had an affair. I don't know. But who knows? We'll never know. George knows, and the lady knows. And we know Thomas Jefferson did. He had a black slave that he was fooling around with. And Benjamin Franklin, he was a womanizer. Bill Clinton, hell yeah, he was a womanizer. And Hillary covered up for him. So, but we don't know what anybody's done in the history for sure. We know about the innuendos and rumors and stuff like that, but we don't know for sure. And everybody talks about more men are more apt to have extramarital affairs than women. But the problem with that, for every man that has an affair, for the most part, it's with the married woman that's married to somebody else. So for every man that's doing it, there's a woman that's doing it, just about. Don't know that for sure, but it takes two to tango, you know. So I don't see putting all the blame on the men. Maybe in yesteryear it was the man, but nowadays you got some little sneaky women running around. So I just want to sit here and talk. Uh, you want some water, baby? Diamond. Here, baby, let me get you some water in there. Hold on a minute, folks. go, baby. There you go. Diamond is trying to drink water out of a bucket, so I poured him a little bit in there. I swear these cats and these dogs, they drink a lot of water. We got a self water in the house. It holds a gallon of water. And them 6 cats and that dog will go through a gallon of water pretty much in a day. Pretty much in a day. And they need fresh water. And I hate it when certain members of the family I'll see the water empty, and I'll tell somebody it's empty, it needs to be filled, and I'll start hearing grumbling about it. Well, they depend on you for that water. They depend on you for that food. So shut up and don't grumble about it, and do it. I mean, you walk up to their sink and get water anytime you want it. But they can't. So, and sometimes I don't notice it's empty, and I'll be walking by and I'll see 3 or 4 of them hanging around the water thing and sticking their paw down in it and stuff like that, and I know it's empty. But by gosh, if you can't take care of them cats and dogs, don't have them. They depend on you for everything. They are, and if the dog poops in the floor, that's not the dog's fault. You got the dog inside, it can't open that dang door and go out and poop. So all it can do is go or pee, whatever it's going to do. So you need to, I try to take Bailey out first thing in the morning and about midday and about late in the evening, like she's out right now. But anyhow, Joyce Keitzer's husband died a little over a week ago. Pray for the lady. I wish I had her email. I could send her, talk to her, or I could even talk to somebody. I don't mind talking to somebody when they've had a problem like that, you know. Sometimes, a couple of times I had a lady friend, her husband died along about the time my wife died. And this one lady, she had 2 kids. One of them was about 14, the other one was 10. The girl was 10, the boy was 14. And we started talking, and she was in the same Boy Scout troop her son was in, same troop that Donovan was in. And he died, and my wife died, and we got extremely close. Closer than I would like. And are you leaving her in the car?
Oh, I forgot she was there.
That boy. But we got really close. I hadn't seen her in probably 5 years now. But I almost would have married that lady. we had cultural problems. She was from France. She's a French lady. Her husband was a American Marine, and she worked at the American Embassy in Paris, and her husband was one of the security guards in the Marines there in Paris, and that's how they met. And he got sick. He got cancer. So they were living here in Ocala, and he died. And that's how her and I become so close. It never, she was way too European for me. And to know what I mean by European, you would have to been knowing a lot of Europeans, and I had known a lot when I was over there and stuff, and I knew things that looked like they were, and where I'm too American for her, and she's too European for me. But she was a nice lady. Nice lady. Anyhow, folks, I guess that's it for my little video chat for today. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And I'll see you in the next one. See ya.